to do a YouTube video today on Paraguay and Dominican Republic. We've been getting a lot of questions on these two countries. I see a lot of people too that put these YouTube videos on these two countries, and they really miss the most important parts dealing with these two countries. And so many people are going to be wasting a lot of time and money. And I mean, I've learned the hard way myself on this over the years. And I'm going to tell you some that you need to take note of. These two countries are really bad programs to get a residency in for many reasons. Now, Dominican Republic does allow dual citizenship, and so does, well, Paraguay allows it, but they only allow it for two countries, and that's Spain and Italy. So in essence, they really don't allow dual citizenship, which means that if you go there and you get residency, and you want to get a passport there, you're going to have to give up all your other citizenships, except if you have a passport in Italy and Spain, like I mentioned. So this is the thing that you have to look at. Do you really want to do that? Now, Paraguay has a real good territorial tax system. A lot of people are getting really confused on Dominican Republic. It doesn't have a pure territorial tax system. There are certain investments that are outside the country they do tax. They do give you a three-year holiday on that. Then after that, you have to pay the tax. I'll give you a note. If I can remember, I'll put a note here on the bottom of the screen, because there's so much confusion on their tax system. I see even lawyers that are wrong on this. You can go to Price Waterhouse and you can pull it up and you can see what I'm talking about. But also, Dominican Republic is a pretty corrupt country. If you travel on that passport, you're going to get a lot of immigration people pulling you on the side, and it's not worth it. You have very, very few visa-free countries there. You're looking at 74 visa-free or visa-free and arrival countries and territories that you can go to with that passport. That's really bad. And the only other country I know in the Caribbean that's got a worse passport is Haiti with 52. So really, what are you gaining from that? That's the big thing I would tell you is you're gonna have to remember too, it's a paper residency program, which is a disadvantage, because you might think it's an advantage because you don't have to live there to get the passport. And oh, by the way, too, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to get the passport, irregardless of what people tell you. I'm telling you, by the time you apply, the time the passport's in your hands, because the slowness over there, it's 3 to 5 years, okay? If you think I'm wrong, test it, okay? You'll see what I'm talking about. And the problem is the government's so slow about doing anything there, if you can even get anything done. But even when you do it, you're going to have to take about 3 trips, 3 to 5, including the passport and everything, to get everything done. So you're looking at all those trips, the hotel fees you're going to have to pay for, and then you're looking at getting a passport. This ain't worth a hoot. You'll probably never use it because it's so bad. I would tell you, why go that route when you can get a passport? Also, by the way, you do have to pass a Spanish test in both of those countries, Paraguay and Dominican Republic. So if you don't know that language, what's that worth? Your time and energy trying to learn that language and getting that done. I'll tell you what's a lot more logical way to go is to go with a Barbados passport, a residency by investment program. There's no test because it's English speaking. You're looking at Ireland's another one. No test, English speaking. But look at the country difference. You're looking at, with Ireland, 189 countries visa-free or visa-free on arrival. I mean, there's like 100 countries difference in what you can travel to on that. And there's no tests you got to take. I don't understand why. Plus, I'll tell you something else too. Ireland's got better tax laws than Dominican Republic does, because if you have equities in the U.S., you got a 30% withholding tax with countries like Dominican Republic. Ireland's got real good tax exchange agreements with the U.S. It's only 15%. Means you got a lot of money, and you got a lot of money in U.S. equities, and assuming you've left the U.S. and you don't have a green card or U.S. citizenship, and you're buying equities there, you're looking at getting twice as much more money with as a non-dom in Ireland than you would be living in Dominican Republic, because of the tax exchange agreement just on the dividends. But remember, Ireland's got a non-dom system, so they only tax your remittance money. But the key is there are ways that you can actually get that remittance almost down to zero, maybe even zero, because there are ways you can pull money in before you actually move to Ireland. As long as you get the bank account set up before you get the residency, that doesn't count towards remittance. And there are other things, I've got other videos on those too, where you can actually pull money in and won't be counted towards remittance. Whereas Dominican Republic is going to tax on worldwide income after that third year on certain type investments. So you've got to be concerned with that. Plus the passport's awful. I mean, you're looking at over 100 more countries with Ireland, and almost about 100 more with Barbados. Barbados has got 165 countries, visa-free or visa-free on arrival, countries and territories that you can go to. Plus you got visa-free, even with that passport, to Canada. And I don't understand why people are going the routes with Dominican Republic and Paraguay when you have these not only options that are better tax laws, but more visa-free travel. This is what I don't understand, why people do this. And they don't, I don't think they really think about what they're doing, because Ireland and Barbados both allow dual citizenship, English speaking, and they both have a lot better passport, and you can get your taxes to zero. Barbados also has a non-dom system too, if you keep your domicile outside of Barbados. So these are the two countries that I would be looking at. Take Dominican Republic and Paraguay and throw them out the window. It's not worth it. Now, if Paraguay ever came out where they allowed dual citizenship, you didn't have to take a Spanish test, that'd be pretty nice. And same thing with El Salvador. El Salvador, I would pick it and Guatemala above Dominican Republic or Paraguay because of the reasons I just mentioned. Guatemala and Paraguay allow dual citizenship, have territorial tax systems, but you're still going to have to take a Spanish test in both of those countries too. But I would pick those two over Paraguay and Dominican Republic. But again, the two best I mentioned to you because they're English speaking. You got a lot more visa-free travel with Barbados and Ireland than any of those I mentioned. And they both allow dual citizenship. You can literally get your taxes to zero or close to it. These are some things that I just don't ever see this on YouTube video. They don't go over these the differences I'm telling you about here. What happens is people make these international trips. They found out all these negatives they're going to have to deal with, and then they end up relocating somewhere else. They end up spending a lot of money. Also, folks, you can do us a big favor. We don't ask for money on this channel, but it would help tremendously on the algorithm of our channel if you give us a thumbs up if you like our videos. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, or how to get a second passport as quick as about 4 months to a year. Now, one other country I meant to mention here also, and also with Ireland, you can get the passport in about 5 years, the same way with Barbados. But those two are very dependable countries. Paraguay and Dominican Republic are not. They go by their statutory time period they state. A lot of these other countries in Central America and also places in the Caribbean or residency by investment, they don't go by their statutory period. It takes years and years and years beyond what they tell you. Now, another thing too that you need to think about is St. Kitts now is coming out with a residency by investment program. They are scrapping the donation option and the real estate option where you get it fast with no residency requirement. That's ending, okay? So let me tell you what the nice thing about this change they're going to make. See, they actually jumped in and did this before any other fast track programs did this, because they don't want to lose this visa-free status to Europe, all these Schengen countries. That's what you want. You don't want to pay a premium price for some of these other fast track programs that don't comply. They lose the visa-free rights to the Schengen countries and becomes a junkie passport like Vanuatu. That's the problem with that. You don't want that to happen. Now, if you don't mind having a junkie passport and losing visa-free status to Europe, then you can go with the Vanuatu passport. I think that's probably the best junkie passport. I did a video on just the other day on that. If you don't care about having to travel to Europe, I think that's probably the best as far as taxes go, your dual citizenship and so forth. But St. Kitts by far is the best if you're willing to pick your bags up and then move. Plus, remember, St. Kitts doesn't have an income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate or inheritance tax, and almost no property tax. You pay only 0.20% of the value of the property with a $29,600 US exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. So you're practically paying almost no property tax at all. Now, I think what's going to happen when St. Kitts makes this change, it's actually going to be to the positive. I've been trying to get them to do this for years. Let me tell you why. It will actually give the passport a better reputation, I think. Although it's got a good reputation already. It will be better because the OECD countries really can't say anything, because now you got all these countries in Europe that have type programs. They're not fast track programs, but they are residency by investment, where if you invest in a property, you can get the passport in so many years. That's what St. Kitts is going to end up doing. But what it's going to do is it's going to make people physically move to St. Kitts, not just give money and get the passport. See, I got people who've gotten passports down here who've never been to St. Kitts. They get the passports, they've never flown here before. These people are going to have to live in St. Kitts, which what that's going to mean is when they end up moving to St. Kitts, they're going to end up not just getting, invest in a property to get the passport, but they're also going to be, a lot of these people end up buying maybe 2 or 3 properties, because all these people are going to be wealthy people, just like right now. My average client's got a net worth of at least, probably the lowest is about a $5 million net worth. So these people are going to be not only moving to St. Kitts, but they also going to be offering a lot more jobs in their self-employed business that they might have in St. Kitts. Whereas, see, they're not doing that now. And what that's going to do is it's going to generate a lot more, I think, value in the property, and I think properties are going to really go really quick. And this is what's happened in Dominican Republic. As bad as that passport is that I just mentioned, the DR, Dominican Republic, it's one of the fastest growing countries in the Caribbean. I think it is the fastest last time I checked. And one reason is a lot of people are getting this residency by investment, and they don't have to move there, actually, because theirs is a paper residency. But a lot of people are moving there. And what they're doing is they're buying property there. And what this is doing with St. Kitts, though, it's forcing them to move here, because this is not a paper. I can tell you, I don't think they're going to put a paper residency. Where what that is where you're just basically on paper getting residency, but you're not technically moving to the country. St. Kitts, I know, will not do that, because the OECD won't put up with that, and I know they won't do that. They're going to make people physically move to St. Kitts, and I could be wrong, but we'll see what happens. They're in the midst of getting that bill passed, so they're going to try to get that done as quick as possible. But again, I think that what that's going to do is it's going to bring a lot of industry into St. Kitts, and people will physically be moving to St. Kitts. And even if it's a year or 2-year requirement on the residency before they can apply for the passport, a lot of those people will stay longer than that time period, which again, they will end up I think, putting a lot more in the country, and that's going to make the country grow a lot faster. And it was also, I think you're going to see the property market really go through the roof here. And this is what's happened in other places that had the same sort of thing. The Cayman Islands has got this too. Cayman Islands makes you, they never have had a fast track program. They've got a residency by investment program, but you're looking at well over $2 million for a property, and you're looking at 5 years of residency. I'm hoping St. Kitts will come out with 1 year. We'll see what happens. If you want to know more on this, folks, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. If you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 4 months to a year. And again, folks, don't forget, if you're a U.S. citizen or U.S. resident, you can come to St. Kitts, bring your business there, apply for the residency, and then what you can do is you can qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion, which is $130,000 for a husband, $130,000 for a wife, which is $260,000 together if you do a joint return. And all of that is tax exempt. There are other tax write-offs you can do too on that. And this is the great thing about, if you're moving to St. Kitts, it's not just getting the passport, it's getting those tax requirements that you will have to do in most cases to qualify. Not just US, but most countries are going to make you move out. If it's a country like Canada or Australia, you're going to have to break your tax ties with those countries to qualify, where you're not having to pay taxes on your worldwide income if you still are tied in a residency or even in the US citizenship. Of course, the US tax is based on residency and citizenship, or what's called substantial presence test. You got to fulfill all three of those, or you're taxed on your worldwide income in the US, either giving up your citizenship, your green card, or don't break the substantial presence test. So you have to fulfill all of those. So anyway, if you're looking to try to do this, we can help you do this. We've helped people with extremely high net worths in getting their taxes to zero. It's very simple. Sometimes you're going to have to, in most cases, you're going to have to relocate though to do that. And if you want to know more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.